Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now, on today's episode, I was just doing my afternoon walk, and I wanted to tell you about how our training session went with the Carnivore on deadlift day and 5x5 program in giant set format. Now, let's pop in and let's take a look at what he's doing. So I'm trying something different in this video, and I'm placing the Carnivore's diet at the beginning instead of at the end. So this is a peek into what he eats on the daily. And of course, his diet is a variation of these types of food, but this is what he's going to be fueling himself on as he goes through my extensive programming. So on today's menu for the giant set format, we're doing 5x5 deadlifts, but of course, we're going to be programming other things as well that he could do in between his sets. And Frank's done all of his warm-ups before, and he started with lightweight, and he's worked his way up to his 70% of his 1 rep max, and now he's going to be doing 5 rounds of his strength giant set portion. And in between his deadlifting, he's going to be doing burpee broad jumps. Now, burpees work your chest, your core, your legs, an explosive athletic movement, and also conditioning. But when you add a broad jump to it at the finisher, it's even harder. And he's going to do about 10 seconds on the assault bike as well. And that's going to be the giant set format for the day. So he's going to be nice and warm, and his body is going to be moving appropriately to get up in that weight. Now you'll notice that Frank is using the mixed grip this time, because if you recall on the Tough 6 episode where he was doing deadlift, he was doing overhand the entire time, but his grip became the limiting factor. So he had to switch midway to mixed grip in order to finish his reps. So I prefer just to use the same grip you're going to use from beginning to end, from the lightweight all the way up to the heavyweight. And he's going to continue to do his burpee broad jumps in between every single set and the assault bike. So he's going to get his heart rate up as he's going up in sets. Another good thing that is, I guess, beneficial to Frank is he has a lot of upper body strength. So when you use the mixed grip, it's actually a lot better for people who have a lot of upper body strength, because you get your traps and you get your upper body more involved. And this is kind of the same deadlift stance and grip that I use as well. And this is where I'm most powerful at, is in the mixed grip. It's just because of how your body's positioned, you use a lot more upper body strength than you would your lower portion. So that is a good benefit for people who have upper body strength. You'll also notice that Frank is getting his air at the top and then lowering his hands down to find his grip, and then he's gripping and ripping it up. That's kind of the benefit of being able to do a mixed grip, is you can get your air at the top, get your brace, and then you can get in a nice tight position down to the bottom versus trying to find your air at the bottom and trying to get your brace and get nice and tight on the bottom and go the other way. Again, a lot of people can do that, and some people, that works for them. Their lower extremities are a lot stronger, and that works for them. But for mixed grippers and upper body strength people, this helps the most. Now, doing 5x5 deadlifting, that's very tough. Deadlifting is very tough on your central nervous system. So I commend Frank that he was able to do that. But I've had a lot of clients that tell me they don't like doing 5x5 deadlifting because it seems too easy for them, at least in the beginning. But then, of course, over time, it gets way hard. And if you put that in giant set format and they have to do that for the full 5 weeks, they instantly regret that decision because of just how much work that is. So good job, Frank. That's not easy to do. And hey, look who's back. It's my buddy, Tom. Tom's going to be my showgirl for the day to show us how 5x5 works. So Frank just did week 1. And all we got to do now is just add 2.5 pounds to each side for week 2, which would bring it up to 250 pounds for Frank. So Frank, after that, for week 3, he's then going to add 5 more pounds and bring his total weight up to 255 pounds, continuing to do 5 sets, 5 repetitions in giant set format. And then week 4, he's going to bump that up to 260 pounds. You can see Frank in the background was getting kind of nervous adding all that weight on. And then by week 5, it's going to be a very grueling test, but he's going to have to do it and knock that out in order to improve. Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it. Nicely done, Frank. You did 5x5 deadlifts in giant set format. That's not an easy thing to do, so well done. Now we're going to pop into the assistance giant sets to see what we can do to improve his deadlift. Now for the assistance giant set, we're doing 3 rounds, and all of these movements are going to help improve the deadlift. So machine rows, especially with those kind of handles, those handles are amazing. I highly recommend your gym or your home gym has one. so we can hit our upper back and we can make sure that we're doing these rows very safely and we can overload the muscles like we're doing here. And then I'm also gonna have Frank be doing goblet squats because he likes to deadlift and he's much more powerful when he's upright. So in order to improve and to teach his mind and his muscles to stay upright when lifting, the goblet squat is perfect for that. So that's why we're doing that. It also carries over nicely into strongman, which Frank will probably be doing one day anyways. And I'm gonna have him stay on the assault bike a lot longer this time, for about 30 seconds. And you can see here, he is dragging right now because his heart rate is through the roof and he's getting a really good workout. Fantastic. Now, I sat down on the bench right now so I can personally view Frank's accessory giant set. So let's pop in and let's see what he's up to. Now for the accessory giant set, again, we're doing 3 rounds and we're doing something called easy, because that's the kind of bar, the easy bar, easy English curls. And the reason why they're called English curls is because I actually encourage a little bit of body English when you're lifting. On deadlift day, I like to overload the biceps by doing more of a semi-compound movement. And on squat days, I do a lot more isolation of the bicep where I don't use any body language. So here I want Frank to really use his whole body to lift that weight. And I actually need him to lift it towards his chest a little bit more, so we'll work on that. But in this way, it's overloading the bicep, so that way it carries over nicely into deadlifts. And I'm also gonna have him do hitchhikers. And if you know, and we're watching my channel long enough, you know that I really care about shoulder health and longevity. This exercise is perfect for that. And we're also gonna be doing hamstring curls. I like to overload my quads on squat days and overload my hamstring at the deadlift day. So this is a great exercise to do that on. Nicely done, Frank. You're that much closer to hitting all of your strength goals. Just a reminder that our entire docuseries is being sponsored by Rok Hardware and Cabinets. And I'm going to leave their links to their website and to their YouTube channel so you could check out what they have in stock and they can help you with your next DIY project, or if you're in the business of manufacturing cabinets or other type of labor that requires hardware, these guys can help you out. Until next time, thank you.